We're recording. Alrighty, good afternoon. My name is Angelica Godinez, and I am a current Humboldt State University student. And this interview that I'm conducting is for the purpose of my to get evaluated on my interviewing skills, and it's for the 340 lab class. And I just wanted to let the person that I'm going to interview, just want to let you know that you don't have to answer any questions that evoke discomfort. And so if you don't want to answer, totally respect that. Just say skip and we'll go on to the next question. Also, just wanted to let you know that the video, this interview that's being recorded, will be evaluated by my professor and some lab students, and to provide feedback on the quality of the interview. Is that okay? Are we?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay, thank you. So can you please for the purpose, can you please introduce yourself? Where do you work and your title?
My name is Chris Soares. I'm a social worker at Creative Alternatives here in Turlock. I've been a social worker for about 4 years.
Great. So I understand you said you're a social worker. Can you please let us know where did you graduate? Where did you get your undergrad? Where did you get your master's?
Well, I got my undergraduate at California State University of Stanislaus here in Turlock, as well as my master's degree. I started at Stanislaus in 2002, right out of high school, and then I got my bachelor's in 2007. Then I started working as a child care worker in the group homes, and I liked it so much I figured I'd go back to school to get my master's degree in social work. So I went back in 2009 and graduated 2012.
Great. So it looks like you've put in your time definitely in work. So did you ever take a break between that? I wasn't sure. Did you take
Yes,
a break?
I did. When I got my bachelor's in 2007, I took probably about a 2-year break, and then that's when, actually, like in late 2007, I started working for Creative Alternatives, the agency I'm working at right now. And I like working with the population, the underprivileged kids and whatnot, and I decided to go back to school to become a social worker.
Um, have you always had like this passion to work with this group of people? Or is it something that you had like a calling for, that you knew at a very young age? Did you discover it later on? How did that happen?
Honestly, I never knew what a social worker was until I started working for this company. Actually, my younger brother, he started working here, and he told me, before I was just working at Cost Plus World Market, where we sold like international stuff and wines and whatnot, and it wasn't really what I was wanting to do. So my brother told me about this job. I applied for it, got hired, and I really like working with this population, all the disadvantaged kids and emotionally disturbed. Then I figured, like, yeah, I might want to be a social worker, because when I was a child care worker at the group home, we had a group home social worker come see the kids, do group with them, do counseling. And I thought that maybe that's something I want to do. So I did more research into it, and I decided to go for the master's program in social work and became a social worker.
Nice, 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 nice. You mentioned your brother, that he's the one who introduced you to this job. Is your brother, is he also, like, what kind of field of work does he do? Is he also involved in social services and stuff like that?
Yes, he is. He's been working here a little bit, probably about a few months before I have. He actually left the agency August 2015. He moved to Phoenix, Arizona. He's still kind of doing a similar line of work. He's working with drug rehabilitation, with older adults. It's kind of like a group home for them, but it's more like a drug treatment program. So he's kind of like in the same line of work.
Oh,
just
great.
helping others.
Great, great, great. Um, if you could go back in time, because that's a lot of years, all that schooling, I'm sure it wasn't easy. If you could go back in time, what advice would you give yourself while you were in school? Did you ever feel overwhelmed, frustrated? Like, what were those emotions while you were going to school? Did you ever at one time feel like quitting, or?
Yes, it's very, especially through the master's program, it's very challenging, just trying to, because you actually have, you're working, 40 hours a week. Then on top of that, you have to do an internship. I believe it's like 16 hours a week. And then, a lot of paperwork you have to do, reports and, presentations. So it was kind of challenging, but at the same time, what I did is just try to keep myself healthy, eat right, exercise, and just pretty much rewarding yourself. You get a project done. But I don't know if I answered your question. But,
Yeah, you did. You did.
yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of hard work. Just sticking to it. And there are times where I wanted to quit. Just given, just trying to balancing work life, social life, in school. But all in all, it's very rewarding once you graduate and you get that degree and you do what you really want to do. So.
Well worth the.
Yeah, worth the hard work, I guess.
Definitely, definitely, definitely. Um, if I were to ask you, what has been one of the most, if you can recall, one of the most what's that word? The most meaningful experience that you've had, like working with Creative Alternative. If you can, if you want to share, if you don't, that's totally fine. If you want to share like an experience that really impacted you and made you decide, yes, I do find purpose in this. Do you recall a specific situation, or have you had like various? Or did you have one meaningful one?
Actually, it's various. I just felt like when I first started here in 2007 as a staff, I felt like I really connected with, the staff that I work with, and also the kids I work with. I just had that good rapport. And I felt like, I was, doing something right. Because the kids were responding well to, I guess you could call it treatment, or just following directions and whatnot. So I figure like, maybe this is something I might want to get into, social work. So I think not just one incident, but just like
A culmination of various.
yeah,
That
various,
just kind of.
yeah. So I just felt like I felt like I was good at what I was doing. So
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely, definitely. Um, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
As far as 5 years, probably um, I might want to try to get into becoming a supervising social worker in 5 years, or even maybe try something different as far as in the social work field, maybe working with a different population, adults, or even human resources. But I mean, social work in general is very, there's like a lot of things you could do, and even teaching, so I mean, there's a lot of opportunities, but hopefully maybe a supervisor, even a teacher, so
Oh, awesome.
yeah.
Awesome. That's a good aspiration to have in 5 years. Um, Also, I wanted to ask you, um, every morning when you wake up, what motivates you? What is your motivation? What is your motivation for coming to work?
Just waking up in the morning. I mean, even though my days are unpredictable, anything can happen. Just waking up knowing that, I'm helping out, the disadvantaged population to fulfill a goal is very, I guess, rewarding for me. It's something to wake up for, put the work in and see the progress.
Definitely.
Um, so yeah, I guess that's, what kind of motivates me. Just trying to collaborate with everyone, just to
Yeah.
get where everyone needs to get at. Once you see that progress, it's very like rewarding. You go
Yeah.
home, you have a smile on your face, and I guess that's the motivation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely, definitely. I was also going to ask you, that brings another good point. What is it like a day and the day of a life of the social worker of Chris? Like, what is your day like since you wake up? If you can just give
Mhm.
us an idea of like what I know you said that you nothing's ever the same,
Mhm.
but if you can just kind of give us somewhat of an idea of what does your day look like as a social worker?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'd wake up probably maybe around 6. Try to get up early, go for a walk. Walk my dog. And just try to clear my mind before coming in to my line of work, because you never know what's gonna happen. So I just try to get my mind clear, and then once I get to work, it's you do your paperwork and whatnot. But sometimes, um, things come up, with school, incidents with school, kids, social workers, and whatnot. So I mean, it's a very unpredictable job. But just, I guess what I'm trying to say is just kind of preparing yourself, for what's that word? Um,
The hurdles or the
yeah,
unexpected.
the unexpected. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, I guess that's how life is in general, just
Right.
unexpected. So, but I mean, more so just kind of like, you know, knowing your clients and the situations and whatnot, just kind
Right.
of preparing yourself for that.
Definitely. Okay. And how do you find, how do you, because you just mentioned that, there's a lot of things unexpected, you don't know what's going to happen. That's just a field of social work,
Hmm.
very unpredictable. How are you able to, how important is it to have like a support system? What is your support system?
Hmm.
What do you do to kind of, because like you did mention, it is very stressful. You're going to
Hmm.
encounter things. So how do you cope with that? And yeah.
As far as coping with the stress
Yeah, with
that
the
comes with the
stress
job.
level and everything.
As far as like support system, of course, family, friends, and also coworkers as well. Just kind of, discussing with my coworkers like the stressful situations, with regards to my clients and the jobs is very helpful. I guess talking about it. Also, as far as relieving the stress, like when I get home, I like to do long distance running, so I think that's very helpful. It helps clear the mind and, just pretty much like taking care of yourself, making sure that, you're eating right, exercising, and rewarding yourself, So I think that's what helps me cope with the stress.
Definitely. Were those the same techniques that you were using while you were in school as well?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So that's definitely a good thing for everyone. I think, like you said, definitely. My teacher also, she also talks to that about us that you need to be healthy yourself.
Mhm.
And I like how you keep mentioning health because
Mhm.
I think that's sometimes we forget that. But yes, I
Mhm.
think that if you're physically not, you're not going to be able to be either be
Mhm.
mentally there.
Exactly. I mean, it just goes where you need to like take care of yourself in order to, help other people. If you're not taking care of yourself, it's kind of difficult to help others.
Definitely, definitely. Um, so we have a like maybe like a few more minutes. Um, I was gonna ask you. So you talked about the things that were rewarding. What are some challenges? What are some challenges in your job field that you've had to that you encounter that that you've overcome or just in general? And any when I say challenge, what does that bring to your mind in your line of work?
Well, what's just this job is the challenges is finding a balance between paperwork and seeing clients, as far as like attending IEPs, going to the houses, and it's just trying to. I think the challenging aspect for me is just trying to find that balance. I mean, my least favorite aspect of the job is paperwork. I'd rather go out and see the kids. Do the whole crisis intervention. Meetings. But it's just trying to, because with this job you have deadlines with paperwork. You have a certain time to complete. Quarterly reports, appraisal needs, and then yeah, it's just trying to find that balance. And like I said, emergencies come up, and sometimes you get kind of pulled away from doing the paperwork and dealing with
Right.
that situation. But I think it's just a matter of just trying to find the right balance. Trying to get the paperwork done, and at the same time, see your clients and deal with other aspects with that too. So.
Oh, that's very good that you mentioned balance. I think in general, in any not only social work but in life in general, we need to learn balance.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that's really awesome that you're putting into practice. I have a friend. She's also a social worker, and she mentioned the same thing you said, paperwork. She wants to
Mhm.
be out there, and it's like this paperwork.
Mhm.
So my question is, how this paperwork is it a long process? Are you guys like filling like how, when you guys say paperwork? Since I'm not in the field,
Mhm.
what does that mean? Does that like are you guys like at your desk for like? It's very intensive and very.
Yeah, see, me, I'm an active person, so it's kind of hard for me just to like sit down for X amount of hours in front of a computer. But yeah, it's very lengthy, especially doing quarterly reports. It's like where you talk about like the kids' progress and medical health, whatever. It takes a while to do that. And then also you have appraisal needs. That's pretty much like um, kind of like a treatment plan
Uh-huh.
that you have to come up with, you know, notes, and then also when the kids see a psychiatrist and the psychiatrist wants to prescribe a new medication, or even um, if uh, if there needs I guess I'm referring to a JV220. It's like a court consent where, like, if the psychiatrist wants to prescribe a medication, we have to work on a JV220, you know, write down the kid's symptoms and why the doctor's prescribing that medication, and submit it to the court, you know. So as things are changing a little bit as far as paperwork, since you know, our agency's trying to get certified, and you know, the state's asking for, you know, more paperwork, especially with the JVD20s. You know, they want more details and whatnot. So, I mean, it's a struggle. It's a lot of paperwork. It takes, you know, quite a bit of time now. You know, so
Yeah.
I mean, admittedly, it's my least favorite thing to do, but I mean, it's a part of the job.
Right.
So.
And then, quick question I wanted to mention. How are you able, for me, that I'm going into social work, I find that an issue for me is that emotional attachment, kind of like you really take it to heart. How have you been able to cope with that? Like, trying not to just, does that make sense what I'm asking you?
Yeah,
How
I
do you do
understand.
that?
Without getting like too attached to the
Yeah.
population. That's a good question, actually. I mean, once you're in the field, you know, you have kids that you're really connected to. They really look up to you and whatnot. Something happens where they have to move on, you know,
Yeah.
or they get removed from our company for some reason. You know, it's kind of hard to for that to happen. But I guess once you get kind of used to it, you're not. Um, how do I put it? I mean, I guess you don't get like too attached. You know, you just. I mean, you enjoy working with the population. You know, kids look up to you, but then, you know, it's kind of hard to explain.
Do you
Yeah,
ever become numb to it at some point or no?
I wouldn't
Do you
say.
think?
I wouldn't say numb, but
Okay.
it's just what it is. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like, the kids move on. They either make it, you know, or they go back with their families. You know,
Right.
sometimes they want to keep contact with you. You know, they
Yeah.
do that. You know, but it's
And is
just.
that allowed? Can
Yeah,
they keep
yeah.
contact with you?
You
Okay.
can keep contact with them, but it's just what it is, you know. I
Yeah.
mean, I think as soon as you get into that field, you know, you get kind of attached, you know, the situations that happen, you know,
Yeah.
it's just like, man, that's really bad, you know. But
Mhm.
I guess further on, if you keep, you know, throughout the years, you get kind of, I don't want to use the word detached, but it's just kind of like what it is, you know. It's just
Right.
reality. You know,
Definitely,
so.
yeah. That makes sense. Over time, I guess you just start building that. It's something you learn, I guess, over time.
Yeah, just kind of, you just kind of, yeah, I guess you could say learn, you know, just, you say, hey, you know, it's what it is, you
Maybe
know,
like a
unfortunately.
coping mechanism for you to, just what you develop.
Yeah, if that makes sense. It's kind of, sorry, it's kind of hard to
Yeah,
explain,
no,
but like, you know,
definitely.
once you get kind of used to it, you know, you see the way things are, you know, it's like, you know, like I said, it's what it
It
is, you
is
know.
what it is.
Mhm.
Definitely. All right, so I think that we have one more minute. I just wanted, can you mention really briefly, because we said that you work for Creative Alternatives. Can you just briefly just say what is it that they do? What is Creative Alternative for those who don't know what
Okay,
it is?
well, Creative Alternatives, we're a foster care slash group home agency. We've been in operation since 1976. So pretty much we take care of kids that are either on probation or emotionally disturbed, or have other mental health issues, and we provide services such as counseling, group therapy, milieu therapy with the group home staff. So we provide those services to help our clients reach goals where to achieve success. Not only do we have foster care and group homes, but we also have a couple of schools. We have one here in Denair, Turlock, and Fresno, and Merced too. So we also have non-public schools as well.
Very impressive. So you guys have been around for a while, since 1976, I think you mentioned?
Yeah, so was that 30, 40 years? 40 years?
That's really awesome. Yeah, so you enjoy working for the company?
Yes.
Yeah, and I would also like to mention I'm now going to be a member of the team. I'm going to join the team, so we're going to be coworkers.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank
Yeah.
you, thank you. So it's going to be really, really nice. And uh, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me, because I know that you're very busy, so really, really much appreciated. And yeah, I just also wanted to mention, we can talk about it either off camera or right now, but you want to mention any interviewing suggestions that you recommend for me, like something that I would need to work on that you see, like, oh, any suggestions that you would want to, maybe tell me, like, you do interviewing with clients, and was there something that you'd recommend that maybe I didn't have that you'd say, oh, by the way, you might want to, you know what I mean?
Honestly, I think you did very great with the interview. I don't see like any flaws or anything. I mean, the questions were very, understandable, and and I think you asked all the right questions. So I'm not too sure what you need to work on. I mean,
Definitely.
yeah, like I said, it was easily understandable.
Did I make you feel comfortable? Did I ever, like, my goal is to try to kind of make you feel comfortable. Did I, at one point, make you feel uncomfortable?
Oh, no. I think yeah, like I said, you did a very good job, and I'm not too sure what you need to work on,
Great,
especially
awesome.
like, when you're interviewing kids, it's more, I guess I guess with experience, just kind of, I don't want to say memorize, but you know what to ask and whatnot.
Right.
So,
Right.
but yeah, as far as like, I mean, the questions you asked me in the interview, I think it went very well.
Okay, thank you. Well, that's good to know. Thank you so much. So, this will conclude our interview. And once again, Christopher, I'd like to thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And that's it.
All right.
All right.